This week's project is a little different. It's going to be an Easter giveaway for our Easter supper that we're having, and I ended up making 9 of these. And thank you for tuning in, and I wish everyone a happy Easter. This is an old piece of elm that I just cut up on my bandsaw. It's still fairly square, so I'll start it out on the lathe here, turning it at about 500 RPM between centers. I'm using my roughing gouge, and if you watch, you can see the chips coming off on the gouge, and they'll speed up. More and more will come off as the piece gets rounder and rounder. When it gets round, they'll come off fairly quickly. As it gets smaller in diameter, I do want to move my tool rest in. You want your tool rest to be as close to the piece of wood as possible. Now you can see it up at this end especially. It's getting round, so it's cutting pretty quickly. It is still between centers. You saw earlier there, it slipped a little bit. I just tightened up my tailstock, which puts more friction on the spur that's in my chuck. Once I get around, you'll see I'll turn a tenon on it and actually mount it in the chuck so that it won't slip. Now that it's round, the first thing I want to do is turn a tenon on one end because I'm still turning between centers. And when turning between centers, you can't get a good grip on the project. So that's the first step. Now I will tell you that this is in real time, and I am not a fast turner by any means. And this is an old dried out piece of wood, so it also doesn't lend itself to turning fast well. But it's not cutting bad. You can see here with the parting tool, I'm able to plunge in pretty quickly and get it down in diameter. Now the other thing is I've got some options here. I could use my skew or I could use my bowl gouge. Now I'm a little bit better with my bowl gouge than I am my skew. I am learning. Skew probably would have been a little bit quicker, but as you can see here, I did it fairly quickly just with the bowl gouge itself. So there I just took the spur center out, and now I'm putting it in the chuck that I just turned the tenon on, and then that'll allow me to remove the live center and work the end eventually as well. So that's good. Now I am turning this fast. I'm turning this at 1100 RPM, I believe. So this is going to be an Easter egg, so I'm just starting to shape it. I'll relieve a little bit here on the top so I can get down near the bottom. I should say get to the center. This is actually the top. And I'm just eyeballing it at this point, just a rough shape that is egg-like. I do have a template that I'll use to compare it against, but just get it started here. And you can see that the bowl gouge is removing material pretty quickly, although it is tearing out a little bit, and my shavings are a little small, but again, this is an old dried out piece of wood, so it doesn't cut as well as a freshly dried piece. At this point, I'm not spending a lot of time worrying about the surface as much as I am just getting a rough shape. Now at this point, I am using my template and I'm focusing a little bit more on getting a smooth, continuous surface. I'll just remove some of this waste material just to give me some room to work. Eventually, I'll just cut that piece right off, and because it's in a chuck, I don't need to support it on both ends. I spent a little more time sanding there than I probably should have. I think another pass with the gouge or the scraper probably would have eliminated the majority of that sanding. Now I'm just parting it off. Again, as I mentioned, I'm not a fast turner. I did turn a number of eggs here for an Easter dinner, just as a little takeaway. And I did turn some faster than this one. I turned a piece of birch probably in about half this period of time. Thank you for watching, and I'd just like to wish everybody a very happy Easter.